Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Welcome to another episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and today is a special day. We're going to finish up this mini-series we've been doing about a major breakthrough in artificial intelligence, AI. But quickly before we get to that, be sure to check out my book on Amazon, The Beginner's Guide to AI. It gives you a quick history and current impact of AI on 10 different industries. It's a very quick read and it's very affordable. So check that out. Also, click the link below, get your free AI resource. The resource is free and everything in the resource is free. You'll learn more about AI and it'll help prepare you for what's coming. So finally, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. So here we go. We're going to finish up this 4-part series today. And to quickly recap, there's been a major breakthrough in artificial intelligence. And that breakthrough is foundation models. And foundation models really are changing the game in AI because they are flexible. All of AI through history has only been to solve one particular problem, whether it's to play a specific game or identify a specific picture or whatever. But foundation models are easily retrainable with minor effort and can be broadly used for multiple purposes. And we talked about what this means. We've talked about how industry-specific foundation models will be developed, like one specifically for healthcare, one for manufacturing, etc. And we've talked about some of the issues surrounding that, these foundation models, which is as AI models get bigger and bigger, then fewer and fewer people can afford to run these things because they require massive computing power. Further concentration of power within the tech industry and further concentration of wealth in society is one of the possible outcomes of this whole thing, along with the benefits, which would be many. But let's wrap this up, and we're talking about how else these foundation models may impact society. So, technology has a social impact, and we've talked about that. And we've talked about how technologists really don't care about that. They just care about inventing the next cool thing. And they don't really think that much about the impact of the technologies that they're inventing. This is why regulation would be needed. But at the very end of the last video, we talked about the Turing trap, which is a focus on using brute computing power to solve a problem that displaces humans in the solution rather than focusing on augmenting what humans do and therefore keeping humans in the equation. And we've talked extensively about job elimination as a result of AI in the future, and that will leave wealth and power in fewer and fewer hands, which is clearly not good. We can see this article from The Economist says, thank you, Economist, that concentration has already occurred, right? Because it's occurred in the hands of Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and a handful of other companies around the world. Now this research, we've talked about how models now have over half a trillion parameters, which is massive, and how one English company is pushing to a 1 trillion parameter model. And there's good research to be done at this scale, but the thing is it takes significant computing power to run even a small model today, which again disadvantages smaller institutions. We've talked about this in terms of colleges. Only the very biggest and most wealthy colleges can really participate in the AI revolution right now. But there's an easy way to fix that, isn't there? And we've talked about it before. First is the cloud, right? The cloud can provide infinite and flexible computing power and has been a true enabler of the AI revolution. But even cloud computing can cost more money than smaller institutions have. So a lot of people now, a couple of think tanks are pushing for a government-funded national research cloud. So if the government provides an AI research cloud and makes it accessible to everybody, then that sort of levels the playing field and prevents this concentration of AI and AI progress into a very few institutions, which is obviously better for many reasons. I mean, among other things, if smaller institutions can participate in the AI revolution because there's a government cloud available, you get a much bigger cross-section of educational institutions participating, and therefore a much bigger cross-section of students who can pursue these kind of opportunities. So this is a very, very good reason for government intervention, because if, this article goes on to say, if foundation models do indeed become the platforms on which a range of services are built, as Microsoft's Scott, which is a last name, predicts, winners take, if not all, then most. And national interest may drive consolidation too and centralization. So what does that mean? Well, that means that national security and the military are obviously very, very interested in AI. And the military has the resources to participate at a very high level when many other institutions wouldn't, in the absence of something like this national research cloud. Services like Copilot from Microsoft might be used to build very damaging computer viruses and release them into the world. Although this Mr. Scott from Microsoft says that Copilot has been built to disallow capabilities like that. But that doesn't stop the big military powers who insist on having their own means of developing cutting-edge AI. All of this said, with centralization and consolidation of resources into fewer and fewer hands, practically no AI experts think that today's models can become sentient, which is good. However, COVID has proven to be an exponential disease. We saw how quickly it spread from patient zero in the United States in New Rochelle, New York, into hundreds of millions of cases 2 years later. That is exponential growth. So COVID is exponential. So it's a clear benchmark for what can happen with exponential things. And since AI is now exponential, sensors is exponential, and a lot of other technologies surrounding AI are exponential, this is dramatically accelerating the pace of change. And this is why I started the AI Guide, to open your eyes to what is happening. Number one, and number two, to prepare you by click the link and get the free resource. That resource will allow you to participate in my beta course if you so choose. which the beta course is the AI Safe Career Pivot. What does that mean? It means what it says. It helps you change your career path into something that will be relatively AI safe. So this article shows that AI has really broken through to a whole new level. Flexible models that can be used for multiple things that will further increase the exponential rate of change in artificial intelligence, leading to massive changes in 3 to 5 years in the job markets. Be prepared. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this special series. We're definitely going to do more of these, and we'll see you next time. Click the link below. Check out my book, Beginner's Guide to AI, on Amazon, and have a great rest of the summer. Take care. Bye.